This is the new installment of the Doan Report. We call it Where in the World is the Doan Report? And so here we go with Where in the World is the August Doan Report. The first San Juan School District employee to let me know via email will win a little surprise. 12-year-old Ed Lucas ran home from his school in Jersey City. It was October 3rd, 1951. He arrived in time to see Bobby Thompson win the pennant for his favorite team, the New York Giants. After the game, Ed ran out to play ball with his friends. During the game, Ed was hit between the eyes by a line drive. The force of the blow detached both retinas, leaving Ed permanently blind. Ed became depressed. His mother, Rosanna, took matters into her own hands and took Ed to a Newark, New Jersey men's store. There she introduced him to Phil Rizzuto, a part-time employee of the store and a Yankee star. Phil befriended Ed. Rosanna wasn't done yet. She wrote the Giants manager, Leo Durocher, about her son. Leo asked her to bring Ed to what was then called the Polo Grounds. On June 14, 1952, young Ed sat in the clubhouse with the members of the Giants. It was the beginning of a special relationship. Ed enrolled in St. Joseph's School for the Blind in Jersey City. The nuns were demanding. Ed learned to make his bed and match his clothes. If he whined about being blind and not being able to do what the other kids could, Sister Anthony Marie was quoted saying, "Isn't that a shame? We're all in the same boat here, Ed. Pick up your oar and start rowing." Ed enrolled in university to study communication arts. He worked hard. He knew no other way. The nuns made sure of that. He graduated in 1962 and became a regular in the Shea and Yankee Stadium press boxes, where he interviewed the players. Years later, a young Mets rookie, Ron Swoboda, took Ed by the hand. Together they walked the warning track around the field. Ed traced his fingers along the outfield wall. His fingers, sensitive to reading Braille, seemed to read the history of the park. Every dent, scratch, and chip he touched meant something to him. Later that year, Ed married. He and his wife had two sons, Eddie and Chris. Sadly, at a very young age, their mother left forever. Ed had to raise his two sons alone. With the strength he learned years ago at St. Joseph's, Ed took on the task. He taught his sons to be strong. It was not uncommon for the two young boys to see Billy Martin in their home. Huge stars like Mickey Mantle would tell me my dad was a hero, Chris was quoted as saying. Years later, a friend came to Ed and told him about a nurse, Allison Pfeiffer, whose detached retina left her legally blind and unable to continue her profession. He asked Ed to speak to her. Ed and Allison talked on the phone for many years before meeting in person. They were baseball fanatics and spent their first date at Shea Stadium. On March 20th, 2006 at Yankee Stadium, Allison walked from the dugout to home plate and became Ed's new bride. With his two sons at his side, Ed started a new life at the place he holds so dear, and with the woman who captured his heart. Ed, now 68, was quoted as saying, "Baseball took my sight, but it also gave me my life." Just a reminder that with hard work, we can all do anything. Thanks, and see you next month.